Welcome back, friends, to another weekly video. Last week I made a video about likability. And one of the things I talked about in that video was that even though it's important that people like you, it's also important not to be a pushover. And I felt this idea required a little bit more discussion, so we're going to talk about it this week. And I want to focus specifically on accountants, because in my opinion, this is one of the most challenging and important skills you can gain as an accountant, which is how to deal with pressure at work. In business, you're usually working with a team of people. And whenever you get a group of people together, you're going to have disagreements. Now, this is what's challenging because it's important that people like you, but at the same time, you're going to have to figure out how to communicate what's important to you. And so this usually means you're going to have to sit down with somebody and have a challenging conversation where you're going to have to say no. How you deal with these challenging conversations is going to impact how successful you are in business. So I want to talk about accountants specifically because accountants are in a unique situation where they're serving the interests of two separate stakeholders, the organization and the public. So CPA stands for Certified Public Accountant. And what this means is you've been given a license to protect the financial interests of the public. So when you sign your name on a document as a CPA, it means something. It means that that document is accurate and ethical. When you become a CPA, you actually have to take an oath that you will follow the laws of your state and the nation. So I'm a CPA in the state of New Mexico, and when I took my oath, they actually gave me this little book. And I love this book. It has all the laws and regulations for public accountancy. And in here, you'll find it talks about the code of conduct, it talks about compliance, it talks about continuing education. And so as a CPA, you are taking an oath that you will be a good accountant. So you might ask at this point, what's the big deal? What's the problem here? The problem is that no one else in your company has taken this oath. They don't care about your oath because they have different interests than you. Their interest is the performance of the company, which is as it should be. But you need to realize there's this difference in interest here, and that difference is going to put pressure on you. I'll give you a good example. So one of the things that accountants do is they set up internal controls. And these internal controls are there to ensure that you have reliable financial statements. So an internal control might be a purchasing process that everybody has to follow every time they make a purchase. Well, a lot of times following these internal controls can slow things down because you want to make sure everything's done properly. Well, you might have other managers in your organization that want to speed things up. Well, this is going to put a lot of pressure on the accounting department. And this pressure is going to require you to sit down and have a difficult conversation with somebody and tell them no. Now, I've worked in many different companies, and this is a really common problem. Every company deals with this. Accountants are under a lot of pressure to bend the rules to do things faster. And you might get this pressure from your staff who doesn't want to follow the process. You might get this pressure from other managers who think you're wasting the budget. And you can even get this pressure from your boss. Dealing with pressure is the most important skill in accounting. You're there to educate and inspire your coworkers to make smart financial choices. That's the reason why you were hired in the first place. Your organization needs you to stand your ground because you are the person who knows the rules, and you need to be able to communicate that effectively. The reason why I'm talking about this is it's my hope that you think through this stuff before you find yourself in a high-pressure situation. You need to have a deep understanding of what your ethical boundaries are. So what is that line in the sand that you will not cross? You need this crystal clear understanding of your ethics so that you can stand by them, even if it means it'll cost you your job. If you can't handle that pressure, then don't become an accountant. And if you ever find yourself in that situation where you're having to decide between your ethics and a job, let me just tell you this. Jobs are going to come and go, but your reputation will be with you for the rest of your life. Now I want to hear from you. If you've ever experienced a high-pressure situation, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. The best way to supercharge a business is through accounting and corporate finance, and I release a new video every week, so come back and check out next week's video.